How is it going, guys? It is time for this month's new products video for the GR86 and BRZ. Now, before we get into the actual products themselves, I've got a few updates for you. The first thing being something that some of you guys may have already noticed, but it is the massive updates to the Driven Media website. Almost everything has changed, and the reason why is because we wanted to continue to improve that user experience and that ease of use for you. There were a lot of things about the old website that I didn't enjoy. It was very difficult to search for products. It was impossible to filter anything, but all those problems have now been resolved with this new website. You can easily search for products in that top right-hand corner. You can sort the products by featured, best-selling. You can alphabetize it, go by price or by date, so you can just hop in here and check out the new products that have been added to the website. You can also go over here and flip this switch, which makes it so the website only shows you products that are currently in stock. So you don't have to worry about browsing through the products and finding something you like only to find out that it's actually not currently available. You can also filter by product type, by brand, by fitment. If you have a specific budget, you can put that in here and it'll only show you products that are within your budget. A lot more user-friendly than the old website. I'm ecstatic with how this turned out. Hopefully you guys enjoy using this as much as I do. If you have any feedback, please let us know. We're always open to suggestions. The second thing a lot of you guys have been asking about, the DRL bezel project. What's going on with that? The last you guys heard, we had just finished up 3D scanning of the bumper and the bezel itself, and you guys were voting on what design you liked best. Well, all the voting has finished, and the design we're going with is design number 2, which is the horizontal bar that goes across the very top of the bezel. A great choice because it goes really well with the DRL in the headlights, and it's subtle enough where it doesn't detract from the overall design and flow of the front end of the car. So we took that design and the renderings that I made and created a CAD drawing of an actual product with a few things in mind. I want to make this as OEM plus as possible. So we are going to retain the shape and design of the OEM bezel as close as we can. I also want to ensure that the lens of the DRL itself doesn't stick out in an awkward way, so it needs to flow with the rest of the bezel and essentially be as flush as possible. And the most important thing being fitment. I want this to fit like an OEM piece, so we're going to work very hard on that. And another important thing is the wiring. I want this to be completely plug and play, so you don't have to mess with splicing or anything like that. I want you to just be able to plug this in to an existing connector, whether it's the headlight or side marker or whatever it is, just be able to plug it in and have it work like it's supposed to. So we're finishing up the very first prototype currently, so let me run through some functions with you guys. We have, of course, a bright white LED DRL, and it does have a very sleek, simple startup sequence. It's just gonna fade in a couple times before it becomes solid. And then we do have a built-in turn signal. So I know some people didn't want the startup sequence, and I know some people didn't want the turn signal. You're gonna be able to turn both of those things on and off. So if you don't want the startup sequence, you can turn that off and just have the DRL turn on like normal. And if you don't want the sequential turn signal, you can turn that off as well and just have it be a flashing turn signal. And we're working on making it so you can switch these on and off from inside the car. So again, you don't have to mess with any wiring or switches on the actual bezel itself. Just being able to sit in the car, turn your headlights on probably a couple times with a few other things and have it change from the on setting to the off setting. Super convenient. Want to make this as easy as possible for you guys. But that is currently where we're at with the DRL bezel project. I'm hoping to have the prototype in my hands to test within the next few weeks. Once that does come in, I'll have a dedicated video just for that to show you guys. But now, let's check out what else is new for this month. Let's start off with some new driven media products. Of course, we have some new carbon fiber. We'll start with these pieces over here. If you take a look in your back seat over on the sides, you'll see the rear speakers. These are the carbon fiber rear speaker surround. So this will go around the speaker, just like the name suggests. They're available in a gloss or matte carbon. This is the matte version here, which is what I prefer in my car. And then also on the back side of the car, these here are the rear seat belt covers. So on the deck, on the back, right in front of your trunk, you will see these two plastic covers that are for the seat belt tethers for child seats. Most of you aren't going to be utilizing those, so if you want to cover them up and make them a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to look at through the rear windshield, these go right over the top and give you some nice carbon accents on that deck. Again, super easy to install, already pre-applied double-sided tape on the back side, so just peel these off, place them into position, and you are set. If you're looking for some sort of roof spoiler, this is the new carbon fiber V-Spec roof spoiler. It is made out of a full carbon construction, so this piece is probably not even 2 pounds, maybe 1.5 pounds. It has a very sleek design to it with some fins on top here, sort of like the vortex generator that Subaru has on the BRZs. Again, super easy to install, already double-sided tape pre-applied. So you clean your windshield, peel the backing off, place this in there, and that is literally it. It gives the back end of the car a bit more of an aggressive profile to it. And again, sleek and simple design that's not over the top. If you don't happen to be a fan of the carbon fiber on the exterior of the car, we also have the rear roof duckbill spoiler that is finished off in a nice gloss black pearl. It is a bit more of an aggressive angle of attack compared to the V-Spec, so it comes up a bit more, so it's more noticeable from the side profile of the car, but it is smooth all the way across. It doesn't have the fins like the V-Spec. And again, it's finished off in a gloss black pearl, so if you want that to blend in with the rest of the trim a bit better and you're not into all the carbon fiber, that is another great option for you. Can't believe I almost forgot about this piece. Now, at first glance, this looks like the carbon fiber mirror covers we already offer, but if you take a look on the backside, you'll notice that this is actually a full replacement. So if you prefer actually replacing the mirror cover instead of just installing a cover over the top of it, then this is exactly for you. All you have to do is pop off the mirror cover, which in all honesty can be a bit of a chore. You have to access the tabs from behind the mirror here, but once you have that popped off, this has all the tabs in the OEM location, so you just pop this in and you're set. Now these next products technically aren't new, but they are a new brand addition to the website. They're from Billetworks. I've been working with them for quite some time now. I had their stuff installed on my FRS, the GR86, my WRX, so I'm super excited to continue to work with them and be able to offer their products on our website. If you guys haven't already noticed, we very much enjoy working with brands that we know and trust, and brands that create products that we ourselves would install on our own cars. So let's start over here. This here is their short throw shifter for the GR86 and BRZ. This is gonna shorten the throws up to 30%, giving you short, crisp, and clean throws every single time. It's such a huge improvement to the overall driving experience. I have a Billetworks short throw shifter for all of my cars, excluding the truck, but I've got one installed on the WRX. I need to reinstall this in the GR86. And this is the GR Corolla one that I also need to install. So it's something that I highly recommend just to, again, make the car feel even better than it already is. It's constructed out of high-grade billet 304 stainless steel with an aluminum reverse lockout that you can customize. I just have a matte black one because I'm a basic bitch. But you can go with a red, a blue, or they have a bunch of other different colors to choose from if you aren't boring like me. But again, great upgrade, really easy to do. It's really not all that difficult. I've got an install video for the GR86 and BRZ, and if you happen to be a GR Corolla owner, I'll have an install video for this as well. But let's jump over here to the shift knobs. They make some of the best shift knobs available for these cars. These two here are my favorite knobs that they offer. This one actually came out of my FRS. This is the Fusion shift knob. It has the option of either a leather or Alcantara outer. This is the Alcantara version, which matches up very well with the Alcantara if you have a premium or limited, depending on the GR86 or BRZ. And then this, again, is matte black. And then it has the gate pattern engraved on top. This weighs in at 500 grams, so it has a very hefty weight to it. Definitely could do some damage with this thing. But you pair this up with a short throw shifter, and it feels absolutely amazing rowing through those gears. Let's see, what else do we got? Okay, so this one is the hybrid shift knob, a little bit taller. So if you prefer a taller shift knob, maybe you like holding the shift knob like this instead of over the top, whatever floats your boat, this is a great option. It has a Delrin shell that you can choose, either white or black. Great for those of you that are in a hot climate. If you park your car out in the sun, this isn't going to burn your hand when you go in and shift to drive because it stays cool because of the material. You can, however, switch this out and opt for their Cosmic Space, which is metal, so it's gonna be a bit heavier. The Delrin option, I believe, is 245 grams, whereas the Cosmic Space options are 330 grams. So another great option there. They have a bunch of different shapes and colors to choose from. This is their light bulb design in a gloss white. They've got a Japanese gate pattern engraved with the GR logo on the bottom. I believe this is also 500 grams. Most of these range from 450 to 500 grams, so a lot heavier than the stock shift knob. Great upgrade, even if you're just doing the shift knob itself. This is the short teardrop in a gloss red with the normal gate pattern and then the GR logo down below. And this, I believe, is one of their most popular shapes. This is just the sphere, normal round shape. Again, matte black, and then a normal gate pattern on top. So lots of different options to choose from as far as the actual shape of the shift knob, the weights, the materials, the colors, the gate patterns. You can customize it to your liking to really upgrade that interior to your liking. So if you guys want to upgrade the short throw shifter or your shift knob or both, they're now available on the website. Let's talk about some new Vland headlights. They make taillights for the GR86 and BRZ. Love those. Their headlights, I'm not so sure about. These are clearly C8 headlights for the GR86 and BRZ. You've got the DRL that starts in the back top corner, and then it splits into two going to the inner and outer corner. The top portion of that DRL also functions as a sequential turn signal, and then you have the single LED projector for your low and high beam. I have not seen these in person, so I can't comment on the light output, but my first impression, not sure if these headlights are for me. I see a lot of C8 Corvettes over there at Paragon Performance. Not sure if I want my GR86 looking like a C8 Corvette, but if you like it, that's all that matters. Do what makes you happy. Maybe we need to bring in a set and test them out on the car and actually see them in person. If that is something you'd like to see, let me know. Maybe we'll do some sort of comparison. You guys have probably heard of AirLift Performance. They specialize in air suspension systems. I haven't installed any on my personal cars, but I have installed a set on an STI, and being able to air up or air out is quite admittedly pretty dope to achieve that stance you're going after. It's not for everybody, but now they have released their own coilover system for the GR86 and BRZ. And it's kind of ironic that a company specializing in air suspension has released a static setup. But anyway, let's take a look at this coilover kit. You got adjustable camera plates up front. You do get 32-way adjustable damping. I didn't see any info on spring rates, but I would assume that this is more geared towards street cars, so it shouldn't be anything too crazy unless it's specifically for stance cars, which if that's the case, they're probably super stiff springs, but I don't know. It is monotube dampers. You get aluminum, anodized aluminum damper bodies, mounts, locking collars, spring perches, and such. But the most unique thing about it is that they've said they're working on a conversion kit to turn these coilovers into an air suspension kit. So if you install these and later on you change your mind and you want to run air instead, you can purchase that kit and transform your coilovers into an air suspension kit. Kind of a cool option. This next part is from Dtec Performance. These are their serviceable billet chromoly front hubs that fit both the first gen and the second gen. These were made specifically with long-term motorsports use in mind to help keep consumable costs down. They're made out of high-quality chromoly steel, so super solid. They come with ARP extended wheel studs pre-installed, and everything has been assembled for you. And the best part is that they utilize a serviceable wheel bearing that is readily accessible at your local parts store. It's literally a wheel bearing out of a Honda Fit that's like $50 to replace instead of a couple $100 for the OEM ones. You can get this in a 5x100 or you can go for the 5x114 conversion. If you do opt for the conversion, you can also get their caliper spacer kit. So if you're running the OEM 2-piston caliper, you can install those spacers, and that allows you to run Honda Accord rotors that are like $70. So again, great modification for those of you that are tracking your car and looking at things long term. This is an intake that I've been wanting to try and test out for a while now. This is the Infinity Design Carbon Intake System. If you haven't heard of Infinity Design before, they're a company based in the UK, small team of enthusiasts that happen to have a background in engineering and fabrication. They've been in the automotive industry for the past 2 decades or so, specializing in intakes and headers. And what makes this intake so unique is that there's nothing quite like it on the market. It utilizes a bespoke short stack filter design that is larger than any cone filter currently available for these cars, with an opening of 6 3/4 of an inch. And you can see that it's sort of a hybrid cone/round filter design. And what that does is it helps to alter the direction of the air towards the outer walls of the intake tubes. And with the filter placement being in front of the inlet, it creates a massive velocity stack with the best laminar flow, supplying tons of air to the engine while still efficiently filtering that air of any harmful debris and contaminants. It also boasts the power numbers to back it all up. Independent testing shows increases of 10 to 12 horsepower and 5 to 10 pound-feet of torque. And if you take a look at the dyno charts from 2,000 to 3,000 RPM, you can see an increase of 10 pound-feet of torque. And then at the end of the rev range, you see great top-end gains as well. Now, I haven't been able to take the car out with the intake installed yet because the weather has been crappy, but once it is cleared up, we're gonna take it out, get some sound clips for you. I've heard it sounds incredible, and then we're gonna try to do some dyno testing. And Yo will be installing one of these intakes on his car too, so hopefully we can get a comparison between this and the stock setup. Another intake system that is newly available for the GR86 and BRZ is the AFE Takeda Momentum Cold Air Intake System. This is available with either a dry or oiled filter. The airbox itself has a very unique design to it with a clear inspection window, so you can look in and see whether or not you need to clean or replace your filter. They said they saw gains of 7 horsepower and 5 pound-feet of torque with an increase of 30% in airflow. And they also have an orange edition that is god-awful. Even if you have the orange GR86, it's a completely different shade of orange. Okay, if we listen and we don't judge. If you like the orange intake, buy the orange intake and be happy. Let's talk about some exhaust. We've got 3 different ones to talk about. We'll start with the one that is currently installed on the car. This is another new addition to the Driven Media website. It's the X-Force Barracks valved catback exhaust. It's available in 2 different versions. There's a 2.5 inch and a 3 inch. And the best thing about this exhaust is that you're able to control how loud your car is. So let's say you are coming home late from work one day and you don't want to disturb your neighbors. When you pull into your neighborhood, just close the valve and then peacefully go home. And when you leave in the morning, or you say you want to go do a spirited drive, once you're out of the neighborhood, open up that valve and you're able to hear more of your exhaust tone. It is super convenient. Also comes with 2 sets of tips. You get the polished tips and the burnt tips. So you can decide which one you want to run. Maybe one day you're feeling the polished tips and the next you are feeling the burnt. You can just swap them out. Another cool thing they offer is called the Smart Box. This gives you even more control. It's an app on your phone, gives GPS location in the car. Connect the two together and you can set it so when you get to a certain location, it will change the position of the valve to your desired percentage. So let's say you set your home area, and when you get into your neighborhood, it's gonna automatically close that valve, and then when you leave, it'll automatically open it back up. Really cool feature, if I do say so myself. This next exhaust is from Juiced Pipes. It's a 3-inch exhaust that splits up into 2.5-inch piping at the Y section and then ends with some massive 5.5-inch burnt tips. Now this doesn't have any sort of mufflers. It's a resonator in the midsection and then what they call these J pipes, hence the name Juiced Pipes. But these J pipes aren't there just to look good. They actually serve a very specific purpose, and that is to cancel out those unwanted frequencies, the drone. So even though this exhaust doesn't have any mufflers, it is relatively drone free. It's a deep, aggressive exhaust tone, and you pair that up with the eye-catching J pipes peeking out underneath your car, and again, those massive tips, and you get a great combination. Yes, I do have the exhaust sitting over there. We will be doing an install video and a full exhaust review with sound clips and all that. I know I owe you guys an exhaust video for the X-Force as well. We will get it all done as soon as the snow melts here, I promise. Last but certainly not least, this is not a new exhaust, but it is a new brand edition that we're working with here at Driven Media. It's AWE Tuning. The AWE Touring Edition exhaust is still in my top 3 favorite exhausts that I have installed on this car. I actually still have it in my garage. Okay, I've been hoarding a lot of different exhausts here and there. I want to try out different systems with different headers and front pipes. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, please let me know before I go off and do all these exhaust videos that nobody cares about. But the reason why it's in my top 3 is because it sounds great. Yes, the cold start is obnoxious, but once it warms up, it has a really fantastic exhaust tone to it that is just music to your ears as you roll down the windows and just drive. You can hear the pops and cracks on those downshifts, and it looks superb, especially with those diamond black tips. It's an exhaust that I recommend all the time to people that are looking for something a bit more on the rowdy side. And there you have it, guys. That is gonna do it for this month's new products video. If you like something you saw, all the links are down in the description. If you have any questions whatsoever, comment down below. I am always happy to help. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the new content. If you are, make sure to hit that subscribe button. There is lots more to come. Yo's actually gearing up to start releasing videos on the Driven Media side of things. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next time.